So greetings. Today I'm going to do another book review, and this book review is by one of my favorite authors, and I'm so excited to basically report or actually review this because it's something I think everyone who's a tarot reader should have, and it's by Cassandra Eason, and it is this book, 1001 Different Tarot Spreads. It is awesome. I'll see you after the intro. So first of all, welcome and greetings. My name is Jay. I'm from Karnak Holistics, where we learn together and we grow together in the sight of God. So today I'm doing another book review, which I felt, as you saw earlier, is a really interesting book. Now, Cassandra Eason I've met a few times at different spiritual events. Lovely woman. I'm going to talk about her more in detail because I just don't want to do the book review about her, because though the book is really awesome, I wanted to go to talk about her as an author and also as a mother, and what makes her unique. So let me just say first of all about this book basically 1001 Different Tarot Spells is 8 inches this way, 8.5 inches this way, and 8.5 inches this way, and this width is actually 1.5 inches. So you can imagine, if you've got a tape measure, have a look at the size. It is a thick and heavy book. So let me start with Cassandra Eason. Let me just talk about the book and about the author, about the review. First of all, Cassandra Eason, this book was published by Sterling Publishing, and it's priced around 15 quid, which is pretty good, 15 UK pounds. So I don't know if that converts in America or in any other countries. It has 48 varied spreads. The author, Cassandra Eason, has over 100 different books, which spans over 13 different languages. So she's quite a big hitter. She also has her own TV series called The Sixth Sense on a UK TV channel, cable channel in the UK. I've not seen it, so I can't really comment on it. But if it's her and what I know of her and what I've also spoken with her about, she's very knowledgeable and it's bound to be brilliant. She's also been a dream analyst on series 3 for the Big Brother in the UK. So anyone in the UK knows the Big Brother. I know it's really well known across the world. So she was a dream analyst for Big Brother. So that goes to show she's quite a big hitter. She trained to be a teacher and she brought up 5 children. Now this is the part I wanted to talk about. Cassandra Eason was a single mother. Is a single mother, I should say. Well, she's passed away, she hasn't. She is awesome. She raised 5 children, and I want to go on to say what she achieved. She's also a witch, so a sorcery witch, as far as I remember from what she was saying. She took a psychology course with honours. She had the intention of being an education psychologist. However, her experience with her 2-year-old son, Jack, with extensive research and publication, she therefore wrote a book, a psychic book, called in Random House, called Psychic Children, published in the 1990s. Her knowledge spans over 20 years, and she travels around the world. She goes to Sweden, the UK, Australia, and America. So she can be found in various places giving lectures. Beautiful thing about Cassandra Eason, let me just explain this. You can actually go up and speak with her. She's not one of these authors that is behind like desks and stuff. She will interact with anybody that I've come across. I mean, I met her a few times, and when we used to do something called Witchfest in the UK, she was there, and I've spoken to her a few times there when I've been attending. And you can ask her any question, she would just come out and tell you. And she's just, from my mind, she's one of my favorite authors. I've got many of her books. And if anybody says to me they want to start out in doing spells or learning about spirituality or learning about being a witch or anything like that, or shaman, I always bookmark her as one of the go-tos to learn about your craft, because she knows her stuff. She's not one of the people that just assume or just is in it for the money. The other thing the only negative thing I found about this book, for me, personally, and again, I'm not knocking it because it is a bloody good book. Trust me, I'll be highly critical if it wasn't, is page divider. You know, like you put a bookmark. Because when you're opening a book and it opens, it sometimes springs back, so you may lose your page. The only thing I would have liked to see is, like, you know, you get them strips that goes between, like you can see on my notes here, like this. That's the only thing I would have liked to see, which it doesn't have. That's the only thing that I can honestly say is the negative thing about this book. I can't even emphasize it. Now, I'm going to start putting up some pictures now about the different varied spreads she does do. And I'm going to go through what the book talks about and give a bit more in-depth analysis about the book. And I'm literally, if I gaze down a lot, I do apologize, because I'm actually want to really delve into what this book's about. So if you're going to go and purchase it, it's only 15 quid. I mean, if you got money to spare, it's like 2 takeouts, for crying out, or 1 takeout. So, and this book is for life. If you're a tarot reader, I would honestly say get this book, it helps. So let's jump into this and let me go a bit more in depth and start talking about Cassandra Eason and her book 1001 Tarot Spreads. So as I mentioned, I'm going to go through the book and I'm just going to read some of the aspects which this book covers. Now, as I said, it does 48 different tarot spreads, and that spans from things like 1 card reading, 2 card readings, 3 card readings, up to 9 card readings, up to multiple card readings, and it explains it. So I'll go a bit more into that. It does love. I'm going to put this up now anyway, the content page. So I'll put it up now so you can see. If I haven't put up already, I'll put up again so you can see what I'm talking about right now. This is the content page and what it actually covers, what this book actually covers, which I think is really awesome. And as I go through, as you're going to see from some of the highlights of the page, they are bloody awesome. They are really detailed, really clearly marked out where the cards are positioned. Now, if you're a beginner in tarot and you're just begun and you want to branch out or create something new, like I've been a tarot reader for over 30 years now, and if you want to branch out, you get set in your ways about reading, and you get you go through different decks. You may do oracle readings or just use tarot, but this book will help you to have a foundation on how you can lay out your different cards. And if you want to change it up, if you get a client that just says to you, I just want a romance reading, this will tell you exactly what kind of reading and how to lay these cards out. Business card reading. So the thing is, the intention when you put cards down, let me just roughly explain this. When you're doing a reading and you're doing the intention of laying out the cards for the actual client, when you do the spread has to resemble the actual question. So if you are, for example, if you're working with guides, and you have guides working with you, it helps you to train them and them to train you, that when you're laying out, for example, if you do a work spread, if you lay out a certain spread for that particular way, called a work spread, your guides will be able to read and work with you that way. If you're doing like a business spread, because a work spread could be normal job, business spread could be you running a business, love spread could be anything to do with love, could be relationships could be a relationship to do with love, or friends or family. So all these different spreads are equal and detrimental to the execution and how you deliver your reading. Now with me, I've got set my ways that I just do a normal spread and I just carry on and I just read. No matter what reading I do, I just stick to one form of layout. Now, I wanted to change up a bit because I obviously do, as you guys know, I was #1 psychic of the year for a well-known, actually, spiritual events company. So when I went out, so now when I want to go and do readings with people, I want to be able to change it up a bit. And when I first started, I was doing that. So I thought it was really important that I wanted to learn a bit more, go back to the roots. There's nothing wrong with you being a seasonal or yearly, or you've done it for years or not done it for years, or just new, to know different ways of doing different spreads. It's about knowledge and education. Plus, it helps when you're with the actual client, that when you change the spread, they will go, oh, okay, you guys changed it. So moving on from there, what I want to talk about is basically, she speaks about the introduction. It says, I'm just going to just quickly read this to you guys. It says, tarot cards have 78 highlighted illustrations: significant love, happiness, travel, meanings, meaning of your own money, learning, long-term security, new beginnings, and many other themes. So as we know, it covers, tarot covers a vast amount. As relevant to our lives today, as when they first created it was created in medieval times. This book will discover everything you need to know to read about the tarot cards. This includes basic meanings of each card and methods, dealings, and layouts of each card. Interpreting them, you will then use the information to try 101 different ways of laying out the cards in order to be a good beginner tarot reader. So that is really awesome. So it goes into here saying, why should you read a tarot, and explains why you should read the tarot. Then it goes on saying, why do you need 101 different, or why do you need layouts? And it tells you about the layouts. It basically says, like, you will, it helps dip into rapid growth, discover some methods, better meaning for you as a reader and the reader, and also for the actual person you're reading for. It also talks about how often you choose the right cards and answer the right questions. So it says also tarot of everyday life, choosing the right deck. So this is important. This is so important. We, as tarot readers now, there is the right cards, which is basically the foundation of it all. But there are different spins off of that now. And I work with chakra tarot cards. So each card is still the foundation of the right tarot cards. There's still 78 cards there, but it's got the actual chakras colors in them to represent the different suits. Yeah. So if I delve out, and I think I've done a video on this, and if I'm doing a reading and I know that this is the heart card or heart chakra, and this card comes up, then I will turn around and go, okay, this is to do with the heart. And even if I'm talking about work, it will say them out. I'll be able to link it to what the person is feeling at that time. So again, you can get different varied cards styles. So, and then it goes straight into, I'll put this up now, the different spreads. And then I think the layout is really awesome, and I don't think you'll be able to see that, but I'm not going to put it up because I was just going to put the original ones up. But it goes into the spreads, and the layout for me is really good. It's really clear, concise, to the point. It explains it all, and it's none of this flannel where people try to put their try and be too knowledgeable and throws the person off. And I've heard so many people say to me, I get these books and they just like, they either contradict themselves or I don't get it. It's just really confusing. And I said, you know what? Forget whatever you've been reading. Go to see this woman. She's really awesome. She tells you exactly what it is. And you think, by the way, I'm not being paid by her. I'm going to just say that if I promote and say to people, because I don't get nothing from it, but what I do get from you guys learning about this is the reward that you guys are going to be learning properly, that you guys are going to be good readers, that you guys, when you pass the messages out, because you learnt a decent spread by a decent person who knows what they're bloody talking about, that energy of positivity that comes to you will filter down to me. And when you pass that on to other people, the energy will go to you. So this is what I'm trying to say. This is why I do these videos, whether it gets likes or not. If it goes to somebody and it spreads, then it does. So again, goes on, it does, should you try to conceive a baby? I mean, it's there. What I used to say to people, and what I used to do in the past, was create kind of like a template. So you can get a bit of like cloth and draw the outline of the meanings. So each card where it be placed. So as a reader, you can get each actual kind of like layout ready for you reading for a client. This kind of throws you off because the basic ones like business, love, relationships, money, things of that nature, you can do that for. And it would help you to train yourself to get used to being very varied in how you read as well. Instead of just doing 7 across and then reading that way or whatever. And I'm not saying that how you read, there is a particular way to read, totally down to you. Like when I taught my son tarot, he reads, how his information, how it comes across is very similar to me, very, 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 very similar. And people who he has read for, who I've read for, have said used to it are very similar. You can see he's been taught by you. But he lays his cards out different to me, which you would think he'll be exactly like mine. I think maybe he does it originally how I used to do it, but he's now developing his own method. And I won't ever change that. When he's read for me, I've never changed the way he's read. Or if I go to some of the people I've taught, I've never changed the way they've read. And it's kind of refreshing to see if I've taught somebody and then a year, 2 years, 3 years later, they've changed the way they've do their layouts. Because it goes to show that they've put passion and love into their actual craft. And this is what it is. It's our craft. So keep developing, keep shining. I have nothing really more to say about this book. All I can, and I put these pictures up, as I said earlier, it's only £15 and it's really, really a go-to book to work with if you're doing tarot, especially if you've just done a course, if you just, you want a refresher, you want to build on your knowledge. I think this is really good. I've just started reading it, working with it, because a lot of my clients now have more varied questions, and I would like to push myself and my guides to read differently. To therefore, when you read differently and your cards are laid out differently, your brain, or say not so much your brain, your conscious self, when reading it, will pick up things differently than if it was what you're comfortable with, if that makes any sense. Because you adapt. When you adapt, different information comes in. It's like if you're going to work the same route, you would just know you're going to work the same route. If you decided to go a different route, you would therefore be mindful about, be aware of what's around you. So it's the same when you're doing readings. This is what I love, and I always encourage my students to try to change up a bit and develop your craft. Whether you're working with guides, psychically, or just with the cards, try to be varied and try to be fresh and new, and it keeps you excited and it keeps you loving the craft. So I'm going to end it on that. I'm going to say I love you and leave you, and thank you for your time. Go out, get this book. She's awesome. Love and light, and God bless, and namaste.